Well, a new study just came out last week has shown that flyers are more fed up than ever before. It's the annual Airline Quality Rankings by Wichita State University and Purdue, and it shows that carriers are bumping more passengers from oversold flights and delivering service that often leaves a lot of us frustrated. It's nice to have a chance to talk about this with a corporate trainer. She has been with us before on similar issues, and she's back today. She is with Consumer and Market Insights, Royalyn Reed. Hello, Royalyn.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
Well, we're doing wonderfully. Thank you for joining us today. So this study, and I read about it on CNBC, it's not saying a lot of positives in terms of how consumers are viewing the airlines these days.
In a lot of ways, it's really not surprising because we know there are a lot of different things going on, and the basic things are all travelers want some basic things in customer service. One, we definitely want to get where we're travel on time. That's always up there, number one for us. But we want to have quality service and how to treat it, as well as just all of the basics that go with customer service. So with those, in many ways, we see sometimes they're maybe a little bit more challenging, but also too is with the results of this annual airline quality rankings. In some instances, some people find it not surprising. The Southwest Airlines finished first, and United Airlines finished last. And we have everyone else in between.
In between. Well, of course, when we think, I bet some people listening right now are thinking, okay, well, so from a consumer's perspective, you get on the plane and you're paying more, and now you have to pay for your luggage, and you're not getting a meal for the most part, unless you're in first class. You're not getting even the food that you used to. So there are a lot of, can I use the word, negatives?
Absolutely. And I believe that is definitely playing a role in our expectations because, as you mentioned, too, is, of course, getting where you want on time, the incidentals, and then customer service. And we know that we as consumers have gone through so much with the airlines over the years, even touching on, you say you have to pay for your luggage. We do feel like we're getting more cramped, that there's less leg room, less space on the airlines as you travel. So as those things evolve, how our perspective, in looking at things are differently. So really the airlines, when you look at customer service, they got to take all of that into consideration because if you're doing very well and if we had some more leg room and we're not as cramped, then you might be, as a person, human nature, to be a little bit more forgiving in another area.
And absolutely. We're speaking with corporate trainer Royalyn Reed. She's with Consumer and Market Insights. And it may sound like a funny question, Royalyn, but if you could snap your fingers, would you train the airlines on customer service, which is something that you and your company is so skilled at? Or is a part of it, we as consumers, do we need to have our expectations in the right place? I mean, we can't expect it to be the flying experience that it was 20 years ago.
It has changed, so there would be some education on the side of your consumer, and that's always important. But I think it's going to be very important, Mary, for the airlines to really get on the same page that we see a lot of other corporations and entities going towards. The thing that is becoming very popular and very important is not just customer service, but the customer experience. And a lot of your cutting-edge, leading-edge companies are beginning to look at customer service holistically. And that is the difference because our world is different. I can understand the airlines may need to cut back on some things, but if you are cutting back on, what are you giving in its place, or how are you handling that? So if you're taking away major components, then you've got to put something else in its place to compensate, even if it's not monetary, but how is it viewed or a convenience for your customers. We're seeing that also with the luggage. Now, one thing the ratings show is that complaints have gone down with the luggage and bags. But now with the charge, what we see a lot of people doing, and I'm sure everyone who flies sees it, everyone is taking more of their bags on the plane.
Yes.
So as a result, too, how many times and I know I've been on the many flights now, when I've gotten there and they said, there's no more room, we'll check your bags for free. So that means the space and what people used to do is very different now. From that angle, that's just an example how the airlines needs to look at it differently. Even that change has affected their on-time performance because there's more time with bags. Now you have to check or make those plans accordingly. And then one thing the study shows, and you can imagine how irate a customer would be to get a phone call to say, you've been bumped from a flight.
Oh, I know. Royal, can you give your website, please?
The CMIteam.com. That's the CMIteam.com.
And actually, there is a link to that on our website. I put it up this morning so listeners can go to talkofconnecticut.com and get right to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So appreciate your time and expertise, Royalyn.
Always glad to be with you.
Thank you. Have a great day.